Welcome into the number one Group of Five football podcast in the world. This is Group of Five, guys. Our goal is to bring the hype, bring the excitement and the pride to the Group of Five football programs that ESPN and the mainstream sports media will not do. So we need your help. We need you to follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of Five, guys. If you like this podcast, go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you stream your podcast. Give us a 5-star rating, give us a review and a comment, and share it with your family and friends. Anything helps. Or you can go to group-of-5guys.com and buy some Group of Five Guys swag. This episode, we got Inside Drill. We're going to do about a 15 or 20-minute interview with a coach. We got Coastal offensive coordinator Travis Trickett coming up next. Have you had it from somebody born and raised in Lafayette, Louisiana, at a tailgate? Doubt it.
Lee Corso is a guy who had a retirement party 10 years ago, and yet he still won't leave the office.
Projected getting drafted between the first and third round. That's incredible. The wide receivers are absolutely stacked for the Group of Five.
I said Michael Pratt has got to show up and play, and boy did he. 394 yards, 4 touchdowns, 48 rushing yards on the ground, and another touchdown.
Yeah, I really appreciate you do for the Group of Five programs, and I think it's great. I think we should get more of this. But you guys are on the forefront of this, and
so I'm thankful for this. I'm glad that you're talking about the Group of Five because I think they get overlooked.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
I appreciate what you guys do, truthfully, covering the Group of Five. Y'all said it earlier, but the Sun Belt to me is college football.
On this episode of Inside Drill with the Group of Five, guys, we got new to Coastal, but he's already ready to be the villain of college football, the villain of the Sun Belt Conference. We got Coastal Carolina offense coordinator Travis Trickett coming on. This is 2 interviews in a row, Jeff. He's flexing the background there. You got the coast in the background. You got the good weather. Coach Trickett, thank you so much for coming on, man. Welcome.
I appreciate you guys having me on. And this isn't like a filter or any kind of background. That's actually my motion sensor light. They were on. It's a beautiful day here, and I'm actually living in Myrtle Beach, which is right next to Conway. But it's so far it's been great here in South Carolina, and the transition's been awesome. But appreciate you guys having me on and talking some ball here in a little bit.
Yeah, no question. Well, you guys, like I said, for whatever reason, Coastal has become the villain, but you guys have embraced it for sure. But one of the things, so we were talking before the show, one thing people always give y'all, crap about is they act like Myrtle Beach and Conway are so far apart, and Conway's nowhere close to the beach. Can you give us the inside? What is the truth?
Set the record straight.
Yeah.
Set the record straight, because I didn't know,
Yeah.
I think I was actually at one of the other schools that were kind of like trying to make that statement that they weren't close. And literally, when you come out of the campus, and if you take a right on 501 and you head toward Myrtle Beach, 200 yards, the address of all the stores and everything is Myrtle Beach. So it's literally like there's no transition. I mean, there really isn't. It's either Conway, then right there Myrtle Beach. I don't know where the transition is if there is one. So I live in Myrtle Beach. I'm 15 minutes from campus, and again, like I said, it's right next to each other. So I mean, I know this. We are, I think, like 9-10 miles from the beach, like where the campus is, I believe it is. So again, it's a great spot for anyone to go to school, and I know this. So the last time I was in Myrtle Beach before this was I was in high school. So I was in Morgantown, West Virginia, and we went on senior trip here. And Myrtle Beach has treated me better now than back then, because back then I don't remember much of that week when I was on senior trip. So, but no, Myrtle Beach is great. Conway, South Carolina is great. It's been.
Yeah. So you're telling me that when we make the trip to come see Coastal, there's no problem with us getting a beach resort right on the beach in Myrtle Beach. No problem with that. We can get to campus in no time.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
It's pretty strong now. Absolutely.
I like it.
Well, I'm always interested to see. We have a lot of Louisiana fans, App State fans that they always leave voicemails, and they're always saying Conway, is nowhere near this. Yeah. So the record has been straight. So
that's right.
All you Troy fans and App State fans.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Well, Coach, so, you got a new staff coming to Coastal, and I'm sure you, especially as the offensive coordinator, best news you could have heard was Grayson McCall coming back. So how excited were you when you heard that news? And then what did that mean just going into the spring, going forward?
No, I mean, Grayson McCall coming back, I didn't know what to expect when we got here. I didn't know Grayson, and Grayson was going through his process. And I really didn't mess with him at all. Coach Beck had been, with the transition, and he kind of talked with Grayson some. And when Grayson made the decision to come back, we talked for a little bit initially. And then when he came back in town, we sat down and we spent a lot of time together. And you want to talk about just awesome young man, like ultra competitive, but humble, wants to be coached, wants to be great. And he's as advertised. I mean, this spring, what he was able to do from a football standpoint was very special, in my opinion. Be able to pick everything up and be able to do to learn a new offense, new terminology, and like his ability to, decision making and then applying a fundamental, from snap to decision. Phenomenal. And then also, if you correct it, his self-correction ability, like if it's a previous play, usually sometimes it's film, their habits that have been created, so you got to take a lot of time. Like he can self-correct like the next play. So I mean, he'd been coached really well. The previous staff did a great job with him, and he was very eager to learn something new. And so far, it's been awesome. I can't speak enough about the young man that he is. I mean, he is what everyone's looking for, and when he's done here in Conway, South Carolina, here at Coastal, like he'll make some organization the next level very happy. I know that.
That's awesome. Well, that was going to be my next question is how different is the offense going to look as opposed to last year? I mean, they ran a lot of that kind of triple option really out of gun and a lot of RPOs. So what do you guys kind of bring into the table offensively that's different?
Well, everyone has like, what's your system? And for me, it's what do our guys do well, right? And so I want to make sure I take advantage of what our advantages are. And every year, like what we do offensively may look a little different from year to year because I want to make sure what can the line block, what can the quarterback execute, and what do the skill guys do well. And, it wouldn't be very smart or intelligent of me to not capitalize on what they did well last year, right? So we've got some guys on staff that are very familiar with how they operated last year. We're going to carry over. I wanted to build off of what they could do. And then we did a lot this spring to just kind of see, all right, we're going to do these things and see where we're at and then evaluate it and then put a plan in place this summer to really kind of, all right, let's make sure what's our great and let's make sure that great stays great. What's our good? Let's see what we can do to make that great. And what's our not so good? And let's see if we can make that good and then put a plan in place for fall for our guys to now, all right, now we're going to just sharpen this and sharpen this knife and get ready for the season and then go apply it in the season. But we're going to carry over a good bit from last year. We're going to add some new stuff. And again, it should be something fun to watch. Again, like last year I had to go through 3 different quarterbacks by really 4, including preseason, but just by injuries or whatever it may be. And but each time someone new played is almost a different flow just because you got to do what that guy can do. So good thing is number 10 can do a lot. Yeah. And even Jared Guest, his backup, has improved a ton this spring. So really excited about that room and those guys in that room, and especially our entire offense, our coaching staff. They did a great job buying in and just really, really productive spring.
Coach Sam Pinckney's dad is a frequent caller of our show. On Twitter, he is steeple_PC_31. I think is it, Jeff? 51. In case you're wondering,
you got it memorized, huh?
We got to know, and I'm sure he wants to know. How many targets is this kid going to get this year? Is he going to break the record? Because I think he missed it by 1 catch last year. I think the all-time
4 yards from 1,000 last year. I was like, throw him a now screen or something.
That's what I'm saying.
Do something.
It was so close. I'll say this. So Sam was with me at the previous school. We had signed Sam to where I was at. So I've known Sam since he was in high school when he was a freshman. I had him as a true freshman. And so this was a transition that was it was awesome. It was a familiar face, and you don't get that. So it's kind of like this new world that we're in. It's kind of crazy. But Sam Pinckney, you want to talk about everything that you want in a young man to have him and Grayson lead 2 of our leaders on our offense, along with a bunch of other guys. But big target, Great ball skills, physical. I'm excited for him this offseason. He's going to work with our new strength coach, Quinn Barham, who comes from Ohio State. And Ohio State's had a ton of wideouts. And so he's going to apply the same strength protocols that those guys have done and really to that whole wide receiver room, because we got Jarrett Brown in there as well. We got, that receiver room's pretty stout. It's really pretty stout. So the good thing is if they want to double Sam, then we got JB in the slot. And then a guy that not a lot of people talk about, Tyson Mobley, who's out wide to the field, has a chance to have a big year as well. And I think there's some really good young guys in that room that have the chance to step up this year and when their opportunity is called. So really excited about that room. But Sam, of course, man, he brings a smile to work ethic. He's going to get all he can handle. I promise you.
Well, I know last year, I mean, the offense was explosive. It has been since McCall's been there, and you guys are done with spring ball. I mean, you're going against the defense every single day. How'd the defense look? Because that was an area last year that you guys, got hit pretty hard, especially towards the end of the season, giving up a lot of points. So how's the defense looking through spring?
For sure. And you know what? They lost a good bit here. If you looked at the defensive players that they have lost over the last 2-3 years, it's been significant. They've had some really good players. They've had a lot of, defensive linemen, they've been really good in the defensive line area. Last year, I think we had a couple corners that were like senior guys that left and got a couple guys who want to play in the NFL. Coach Craig Niver, our defense coordinator, is going to bring a defense that's probably not familiar to the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt, you've seen a lot of 3 down and some 4 down, and there's some defenses that kind of like, that's the same style. App State, Georgia Southern had it in the past, have done the same kind of style. Georgia State, Troy now have done some of those defenses, but this defense is going to be multiple. It's going to be coming at you from everywhere. Like you can't, like, if you try to sit there and try to like pre-snap, this is what it is at the snap. It's not. And it's been great for our quarterbacks because it's iron sharpens iron. Yeah. And so it's very multiple. It takes advantage of our guys on defense, whatever their strengths are, we can play to them. So 3 down, 4 down, blitz is here, max coverage. It's going to be it's going to be a fun, disruptive defense to watch. So it'll be chaotic in a good way. It's hard for us on offense, so it makes sure like there's not going to be anything we haven't seen going into the season offensively, which is definitely a positive for us.
Coach, everybody, Coastal kind of came on the scene a few years ago, and everybody, all the other fan bases that hate Coastal so much have just been waiting for the day for y'all to fall off, and it ain't happening. So, but I think people are sleeping on you guys again this year. And I don't know how you do that especially with McCall coming back. I don't know but what's the expectation in house? Are you guys championship or bust? Or what are you guys expecting to do this season?
Well, Coach Beck does a great job of coming here. I think a lot of it's, Coach Beck's made, when he got the job, unless in the coaching world, of Coach Beck. But maybe like he's not the big name that everyone knows. But if you're a follower of football, you know his track record and where he's been and the coach, the offenses he produced, the quarterbacks he's tutored, and what those quarterbacks and offenses have done underneath him. And when he got in here, but you don't know him as the head coach. And what he's done here in a short amount of time has just been, without question, like players coach, coaches coach, leader, and has set the expectation for our guys. And here's the thing, he's really made sure that we've set this expectation to where here's the standard, guys, and we're not wavering. So it was a tough physical spring. It's a lot tougher than I think they probably expected or had gone through before. And that's not saying anything about before. They did a great job. 31 wins in 3 years. Phenomenal job. They did a great job recruiting, and our culture was right. So we want to make sure this isn't a rebuild. This has been built. So let's make sure we're building on top of what's been built and capitalize on it. But when you do that, you got to keep moving the goalpost and keep moving it further and keep pushing our guys. So, whether it's in the weight room or whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in the football meeting room, it's been a push to push our guys and the leadership and really because one thing that we did and Coach Beck did when we got here was like, all right, when y'all made the jump from 19 to 20, the wins in 2020, when they made the big jump to win the conference championship, right? What was the reoccurring theme? And we asked the older guys that were here. And they kept talking about how hard the offseason program was, how the leadership said, hey, enough's enough. This is what we're going to do. And if you don't like it, tough, you're going to do it. And they did it with love, but they did it with tough love. And so, we asked them all, and we said, hey, well, what's different? Do we have more talent now? They are like, yes, we have way more talent than in 2020. Okay. All right. Do we have everything that we needed? Do we have more than what you had in 2020? Yes. So what's stopping us? There's nothing stopping us. We got to recreate that adversity and recreate that drive. And so that's what's really been for our guys. We've been really working on ourselves a lot, but there's been a lot of internal competition, a lot of internal drive, and the guys have met it so far. And that's one thing I'll say about it. Like we got a bunch of guys here that love ball, and they've recruited to that here in the past, and we're going to continue to do that. Get guys that got that chip on their shoulder. That's probably why they have that. You talked about being the villain a little bit, and that's fine, but they've got that. They've had that edge, and that's what they're going to continue to do and continue to be. And we got to continue to recruit to that, and make sure we get those guys, our blue collar work ethic that, they're not prima donnas. They want to come out here and they want to play. So, and that's what we're going to continue to add to this program.
Well, you guys, you talked about the spring being probably more physical than ever. Is doing it, and I know they've always kind of done it early, but is doing it a little early, does that play into it? I mean, you got more time before you really hit summer workouts hard, and then you guys can hit the recruiting trail, or is there any rhyme or reason why y'all do it early? Or
yeah, I think this year Coach wanted to make sure with this is the first year with this April window of the transfer portal. It's the first time we've had this April 15th through the 30th window, and then also with the new offense, we wanted to push it back. We wanted the guys to have a real good initial all-season winter workout with our strength coach and build, like, push heavyweight, feed them nutrition-wise. Coach Beck's done a phenomenal job of getting food and resources in the program to kind of like, that's where a lot of schools don't have this, the resources we have, which he's really maximized and gone out and pushed that envelope and got our guys where we're putting on weight. We're pushing heavyweight now. And then we had spring ball, and because he wanted to see those gains, and then he wanted to see it out there on the field. It gave us some time to kind of get all of our ducks in a row and build relationships with the guys before you get out there and you just start going at it. We really wanted to make this a relationship-based program. So spend some time doing that. And then you want to kind of get the spring ball done before this window here for the portal. So then we knew, all right, coming out of spring ball, what would be our needs? What kind of team do we have? And want to make sure, like, if we add anybody in this window coming up, that they're made of the right stuff, but also what we need. Because, like I said, we've got our best players are the ones that we have on our roster right now. Like, we got some really good guys on our roster that we couldn't be more excited to coach this fall. But when we add these guys coming in, we want to make sure that it fits both from the football perspective and the locker room perspective and the culture perspective. So it's given us time to kind of address our needs and be thorough there. Where some people, maybe year 2, year 3, we'll push it back, and maybe start spring a little bit later and get a little bit more lift time, a little bit more skill development time. But Coach felt like that was the best avenue. It's been really good so far.
Yeah, Coach, you come from you're a family of coaches. Your dad has coached for a long time and still coaching. Your brother's the OC at Marshall. Have you ever played against either of them before?
2000. So when I was a GA at Alabama in 2007, my first year GA, and we played Florida State in Jacksonville, and that's when Coach Bow was at Florida State. Dad had just got down there with Jimbo, and I was the GA and Alabama played Florida State, and Florida State got us that game. That was the only year, that 2007 year was the only year Alabama didn't win 10 games. But I got to be there for the transition, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And our staff was ridiculous. Like, our head of recruiting was Jeff Collins. Jeremy Pruitt was in the weight room. Like, there's guys that are now household names. Lance Taylor, head coach of West Michigan, was recruiting GA at that point in time, and next year moved on the field to offense. And it's just a really cool staff to be a part of. And but yeah, that was the one time. And so Dad got me there. And so this year I get to go against Dad. They come to Jacksonville State. My dad's 75 years old, coaching offensive line at Jacksonville State, and they come to Conway, and Clint Trickett and Marshall roll into town too. So I get to go against a former school I coached at. So there's a lot of
That's pretty cool.
You get them both at home though. That's really good.
Cool. Yeah, no way. And it's just, that's what the Sun Belt, that's what college football is all about. Yeah. It really is, man. Like, it's the pageantry. I mean, the Sun Belt, man, is like, I know people have said it. It's what college football is all about. It's awesome. Like, the kids are awesome. The coaches are great. And it's a really good product, man. And you get kids that play in it for the right reasons. So it's going to be from a personal perspective. Yes, like it's a very it's going to be an interesting summertime, the summer break when we're all vacationing together. What the conversation is going to be.
Yeah.
Who's going to throw the first jab? That kind of stuff.
You better hide all your your huddle and your iPads and iPhones and your DMV Sport?
Yeah,
is that what they're using these days?
So we usually sit down and we talk ball. Obviously, we can't do that now. And actually, Dad came in town last weekend. That was the weekend of our spring game. I said, you're not coming to spring game, right? He's like, I ain't going. And he stayed with my kids and my wife, and my mom was in town too. And then Clint and I, what was funny is we were down at Christmas break. I just took the job, and we're down there, and this was December, and the portal had just hit open. Now I'm at Coastal, Clint's at Marshall, and Dad's at Jacksonville State. Well, I get up to go take a phone call, talk to a transfer. I come back in, and all of a sudden Clint's phone rings. It's the same kid. No. And so we come back in here. We made a decision. This is what we're going to do. We're going to call the kids because we're all the same guys. We're going to call the guys up and, hey, Coastal's got 5 minutes. Marshall's got 5 minutes. Jacksonville State will have 5 minutes, and we'll just pass the phone around and give our pitch and then let them call what they may. So it's just crazy
hilarious.
now. Yeah.
Do a little rock paper scissors tournament. I'd see who gets who. Well, man, Coach, we're fired up. We've been saying we got to get to Conway for 2 or 3 years now. I think I'm committed. Jeff's committed. The rest of the guys, we're committed to getting up there. We haven't decided on what game. Hopefully early in the year, we get a little, end of summer, early fall. Maybe we get the beach condo up there, spend a few days. But we can't wait to get up there and see you guys. Hoping for the Sun Belt is so deep. It's so balanced. I went on a little rant and mentioned like 8 teams in the Sun Belt, and the rest of them were pissed that I didn't say every team was a contender.
Coach Kurt Signetti was on that Alabama staff too. I was a G.
Yeah, he's one I forgot.
I know he's I'll tell you this without question. Like this is a great conference. The coaches are phenomenal from top to bottom. Like it's funny is I got relationships on just about every staff. So does most of our staff. And but the fact that you guys do this and continue to bring light to it is awesome because the more people that see our product. And they see it on SportsCenter and the games where, I know App State got a ton of love this year and all that after beating A&M. And, when those teams get those wins, that's great. But I even think, when we play these in-conference games, man, they're just as good. And the product's really good, too. So
100%.
It's really competitive. It's awesome. But I agree with you. It's going to be a wide-open league, and we're looking forward to the challenge because it's going to be a great challenge. But I know that in that locker room that we got in Conway, we'll always say Conway. We got the locker room we got in Conway. I tell you what, that locker room's going to be ready to take on whatever comes. So we're excited to get going.
Well, we always like to end. We haven't had anybody from Coastal, on the staff on our show before. So we like to give you, your 10-second, 15-second elevator pitch to, the people of Conway / Myrtle Beach, recruits, whoever you want to talk to. Why support Coastal or why come to Coastal?
Well, what's really cool is the first thing I got here was this town and this area really cares about Coastal. Like it is teal central. Like when I know Grace said I piss teal, like it's the whole area does. Like you don't see any other school flags. That's awesome. There's a ton of pride. You go in downtown Conway, you see the logo printed on the streets. You got Chauncey's got restaurants for just everything's Coastal. You go to Myrtle Beach and you go to the Dave & Buster's. The only school that's highlighted is Coastal Carolina, and they got all these things there. And what's really cool is that, it's what you want the college experience to be. Like, that's why I enjoy it. Like, we're where football matters here. And when we come here and we go to church and we go and, what we do matters. And when guys come play college ball, when the community supports you and it means something to that community, that's what you want your college experience to be. You don't want to play in front of any empty stadiums. And, we'll play the game anywhere it needs to be. It could be in the parking lot, but when the community's behind it, it's awesome. This community's behind it. So it's been a great experience so far. I couldn't be happier to be part of this program because all the staffs that came before here, they've won. They've always won here. They've got a 660 winning percentage, I believe, all time in 20 years of college football. They've got 31 wins in 3 years here. They've been in the top 25. They've hosted college game day. It's sky in a short amount of time. This place has skyrocketed. So to be a part of it's very humbling, And I'm going to make sure, and our staff, Coach Beck's hired a staff that's going to make sure that whatever we do, we're going to make the people here that are Coastal alums proud. So we're excited to get going.
Absolutely love it. Well, Coach, can't thank you enough for coming on. Can't thank you enough. You've been a supporter for a long time, even from the beginning on the social. So thank you for that. Certainly appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you. Not hopefully, we will see you in person in Conway, and we're looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Now, when you guys come, remember now you got it's the Shant's up. That's what you got to do right there. That's it right there.
No
that's
problem.
That's the whole deal right there. Shant's up. And then, we can't wait to have you over here in Conway for a game, and it'll be a good time.
Sweet. Can't wait, Coach. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Jeff, here we are again. I mean, you have Coach Mack at FIU going palm trees, sunset there in Miami, but I don't know if you could hear those birds. You just hear the sound of water. There's water nearby when you hear those birds going like that. You can see the sunset there. He said it.
I don't know if that was a Chanticleer in the background or maybe just geese flying.
Could have been geese.
Flying
Could
south.
Have been some seagulls. Yep.
No, it looked like it was good weather down there, and we're going to get to Conway at some point this season. But I mean, it sounds like they had a great spring, and I'm going to be honest, Sprouse. I mean, I know for one for sure, one of your most important positions is the quarterback.
Yep.
And there are zero questions at that position for that team. And then you bring on the experience of Sam Pinckney as well, and then some other pieces they've added in. And then that new look defense, I'm excited to see it. I mean, that's going to be a huge factor for them this year because that's where they were hurting last year, especially down the stretch. They gave up far too many points, and it just makes it impossible, to compete in the game. But, I mean, he sounds like a great offensive mind, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime too, and with the defense struggling last year, and then you also had McCall kind of being injured, kind of hobbling last year. He's healthy as ever. Full off season this year, and now barring something freakish, he's going to be healthier and healthier by the time fall camp comes around. You get a new look defense. Obviously, it's a great conference, but also with a guy like Coach Trickett, anytime it's a family, a long line of coaches, it's just they just have a different mindset. They just see different things. They just know so much ball.
Yeah.
So they're always going to be able to adjust.
You've been around it your whole life. You've been in the coaching, family, the rule your whole life. So you draw from all these experience and knowledge from his dad, from his brother, and then just him going through it. I mean, he knows football, like the back of his hand, and he knows offense really, really well. So like I said, I'm excited to see him. I don't think too many people are really looking at Coastal at being a factor this year in the East. I don't know how they're not.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, everybody, all the other fans that our listeners don't like Coastal, but I'm here. They're not going anywhere. I mean, not with Beck and not with Trickett. I think they're going to be right where they are, if not, better than they have been with Chadwell.
Well, and I think too, not just Coastal, but all of these Sun Belt teams. The better they all get, the better it is for all the rest of them. Because you're going to want to play. I mean, there's going to be. We've been looking through the Sun Belt schedule. There are big time games every single Saturday in the Sun Belt. Yeah. Every Saturday. I mean, I was talking to Coach before the show, and it was like, you look at the schedule now, and you look at a game in, week 7 or week 8, and right now it looks like on paper it should be a good game, but both of those teams could be 500. Everybody could be 500. They could be undefeated. I mean, you just don't know. I think there's going to be so many close games. I mean, it's so competitive in this conference, but
and I think you had it pegged right when you got in a little trouble a week or two ago because you didn't list James Madison, and the point you were trying to make was
they'll be in it. I've slipped my mind, Jeff.
I know it's hard to remember them all, but I'm with you. I don't think there's going to be like a clear cut, one win, one loss, 2 loss team. I think
that's right.
From week to week, it's who matches up best with that team, and you're going to get teams get knocked off, and then another team's going to come and knock that team off. And I think there's going to be 2 or 3 teams going into the last couple weeks of the season that easily have a shot to make it to the championship game, and it's just going to matter how they finish.
Well, and that's why, Jeff, every conference champion deserves a shot at the playoff.
I agree.
It's as simple as that. If you have – the Sun Belt is probably going to have – I mean, I think I said 6 of them on my last little thing. It's probably more like 8, maybe 9.
Yeah.
That truly have a shot to win the conference. And if you're 8-4, 9-3, because like you said, I don't think you're going to see a 10, 11 win team come out of the Sun Belt this year, just because they're all going to beat each other. So it's going to be, the national media and the voters and whatnot are going to hold that against these guys, because you may have a win against Coastal and a loss against James Madison, or vice versa, and they're going to look at those losses like they're bad losses, and they're going to look at those wins like they're not that impressive wins, which is BS, because any win in this conference right now is a really good win.
Yep. No, I agree wholeheartedly. We'll see. It's going to be interesting and fun season come fall, question. And I think pretty much all the spring games and spring practices pretty much end this weekend. So, it's going to be interested to see what happens in the summer. And mark my words, there's going to be some transfers coming right after spring, because you're going to see, and I think a lot of it's going to be in the quarterback room. And this is just all around the country. Guys who thought they were going to be the guy and are not, lost battles, and they're going to hop in the portal. So, be on the lookout for some of these QBs, especially trying to jump ship, trying to find another home, before the summer. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, we can talk about that another time, but we always talk about the guys like that. Do they enter the portal just to skip out on spring ball, or skip out on some of the mat drills or things of that nature? But I don't know. But anyway, thank you to Coach Trickett again for coming on. Cannot thank you enough. Shout out to Kevin Davis for setting this up for us. Appreciative to everybody that's been helping us out lately. But that's all we got for you guys tonight. If you like the show, give us a follow on all the social media platforms at Group of Five Guys. Listen to this Inside Drill or any of our podcasts on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating and review. Share with your family and friends. Go to group-of-5guys.com. Get you some swag. Murph's got got a new shirt from group-of-5guys.com on there.
Closest colors I could get to the old coast.
Yeah. And we should, just FYI for people that have been asking, I think we should be good on the logo on the swag on our site right now. Still working on some kinks, but t-shirts and sweatshirts should be in good shape right now. Still working on getting some hats for everybody, but that's all we got. We're out of here.
See you in Conway.